Welcome back, guys. If you were expecting this review, have no fear, it's finally here. That kind of rhymed. But it's the return of my favorite movies. I forget what episode we're on, but of course it'll be in the title, so you'll see it for yourself. But anyway, this is my favorite movie that I've been waiting to talk about for a long time, and it's almost one of the main reasons that I made this, because just like Avatar, it is my favorite movie of all time, Avatar. That's why I did my first episode on it. But I have a special spot for my favorite horror movie of all time, 1979 Ridley Scott's masterpiece, Alien. Alright, and yes, simple title, but most definitely not a simple movie. This, in my opinion, for the time, was amazing. It still holds up, but what I mean story-wise is you've probably seen this story a million times now. It's basically, I like how Ridley Scott pitched it. It's Jaws in space. It's exactly what it is, and I'm going to explain why it's such a great movie and why it deserves to be my favorite movie. The star of the movie is my favorite female actress of all time, Sigourney Weaver. Now, of course, Sigourney hasn't been in much stuff now, but back in that time, back in the 70s and 80s, you got Ghostbusters, you got Alien, you got the whole Alien series, you got 4 movies she was in. She was in a good amount of other action movies at the time, and she was just a great actress, and she still is for me today. And she's probably one of the main reasons that I like it. But the reason that this is my favorite movie is the suspense that Ridley Scott was able to make is never been matched, in my opinion. You have an isolated crew in a ship called the Nostromo, floating through space. It's just a cargo ship. They're probably, I think it was like coal or some type of mineral. They're just coming back. They stop on this planet because they hear a distress signal, and they're like, oh, we'll go check it out, why not? They go down. One of our disposable characters, number 487, gets this weird alien thing just attached to his face. They bring him back on the ship. They take off the thing, and they're like, alright, we're all good, let's go eat some dinner, and one of the greatest scenes in the movie ever happens. Spoiler alert, by the way, but come on, guys, this movie's like, what, 40 years old? You gotta see it by now. They're eating dinner, and if you're eating dinner during this scene, let's just say you probably shouldn't, because all of a sudden, the character that had the thing on his face just starts, like, I don't know, I guess you could say having a seizure on the table. And you don't know what's happening, but it's just amazing, because I don't think there's any music going on, but if there is, it's just so suspenseful and quiet, and it's just an alien just burst out of a chest. Now, of course, now everyone knows chest bursters. That's kind of just like an iconic thing in the Alien series, but before it was just like, what? Did an alien just, and yeah, that is life, ladies and gentlemen. That is how children are born. So, there's our monster of the movie introduced, and the cute little baby alien turns into this big monster xenomorph, and it goes around and kills every one of the disposable crew members, and I think even the cat. Wait, no, the cat survives, actually, and not until, I think, the third one it dies. But, so it picks off all the crew, and it's just, each time one of the characters dies, there's always just a great scene to it. You have, I think it was the ship's captain. He's going through the vents. He's looking for the alien. He's using that iconic GPS alien tracker thing, you know, the just that makes that beeping sound. Thing gets closer, and oh, it was just so great. And each member, I didn't feel like, oh, who was that guy? He died. Didn't know him. Don't care. I felt for these characters because it was just so isolated, because you're in space, and in space, no one can hear you scream. But when you're watching the movie, everyone can hear you scream. Now, this isn't full-scale terrifying movie, but it does unnerve, it at least unnerved me. Like, Ridley Scott did a great job in that department. He unnerved me, and I think that was what he was going for. Very unsettling movie, and it was great all around. Then you had, of course, our main hero, Sigourney, beat the alien, sucked it out into space, and she goes into sleep. Night-night, Sigourney wins. And then you had an amazing sequel, almost as good as the first, but just like Terminator, in my opinion, you can't beat the original, no matter how great it is. Then you had a meh third one, and then you had a fourth one that was so bad, I kind of fell asleep watching it. And then you had the AVP films, but we're not going to talk about AVP. Anyway, guys, that is my favorite movies, episode whatever, talking about one of the greatest horror movies of all time, and I'm not a big horror movie fan. And if you're not either, I still recommend going out and see this. Of course it gets a 10 out of 10. It wouldn't if it's my favorite movie, so of course it gets a 10 out of 10. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on one of the greatest science fiction movies of all time, next to Star Wars, of course. And more reviews coming out, hopefully. I'll try to go see new movies, but just like the sad truth is, the end of the summer movie season is upon us. Movies are starting to slow down, so I brought back this series. I'd like to hear your thoughts on more of my favorite movies in the future, because who knows, maybe your favorite movie is my favorite movie, everyone's favorite movie. The end, and I'll see you in the next one.